Helldivers 2's future is massive. More crossovers are confirmed. Higher difficulty also could be coming. So grab a hot cup of liberty and let's dive right into the video. To begin everyone, we will first discuss some topics, then later go over crossovers and new difficulties. As of right now, the game is doing really well. However, there are still many countries banned, not being able to play, and some players have been asking questions on when we could see some of these countries unbanned. This was posted on Discord stating, "Greetings, well, would you kindly tell us where is your company currently standing regarding the still ongoing global purchase ban regarding Helldivers 2? What is your current status of negotiating with Sony as the publisher of your game, and when can the public expect actual concrete news regarding the lifting of the ban?" Baskinator, we don't have any news on this to share. Our community team is not involved in those conversations. So there you have it, straight from Baskinator. There's not really anything to say as of right now. So it does not seem we have really any indication on when we can see Helldivers 2 back on the market for those banned countries. Shams has been also really quiet on this one. However, it does not take away the fact the game is doing really well at the moment. Right here you can see the massive numbers of players who have been active in the past 24 hours. 94,000 players. Democracy is back. Tell me democracy is back without telling me democracy is back. I think democracy is back. After many updates, controversies, nerfs, buffs, you name it, Helldivers 2 has been through the thick and thin. It still has came out the other side fighting though, and it's in a better place than it's been in months, especially since the last major update to the game. And now we have a new Predator strain. It's brought back even more players though, because the numbers just keep rolling in. Now moving on to Reddit, there has been some crazy, and I mean crazy, ideas emerging, which I love to see people getting involved and showing their thoughts on new concepts. So this is more community appreciation, if anything. New Illuminant unit idea. Fallen Helldiver. When fighting the Illuminant, many Helldivers went MIA. Some of them suffered a fate worse than death. Elite Illuminant unit. Light armor, in between Voteless and Overseer, lay down suppressive fire, heavy devastator type, watch for their targeting laser, weapon varies based on difficulty, Liberator LMG, suicide grenade, demoralize Helldivers by murmuring in the combat radio. And doesn't he look absolutely badass? I would really hate to face him on the battlefield for sure. Man, this is an awesome concept, and I think Arrowhead should definitely take these designs into consideration. I actually saw this on Facebook before Reddit, and my first initial thoughts was, Arrowhead, you need to do this. This is an awesome concept. Imagine facing a Helldiver on the battlefield, maybe one that's been converted from the Illuminants, or perhaps a new faction altogether. Now, Rogue Agents is what this shouts to me. However, I think I would love to see this as an individual faction, as I just said, like Helldivers who abandoned the cause and went off to do their own thing, or maybe they are a sub-faction to the Illuminants and have joined forces, or are a complete different faction altogether. Maybe Helldivers that have been converted to squids, like the Super Earth citizens. We did have cyborg type enemies in Helldivers 1, I believe, which this concept would fit in really well. I am not certain if the cyborgs were the previous enemy type to the automatons or something completely different. If you know more about this, drop a comment and tell me. It does state this here though. Cyborgs, a separatist movement of former human beings whose obsession with the cybernetic augmentation of their own bodies led to their violent rebellion from Super Earth. The cyborg homeworld is a snow-covered planet known as Cyberstan enemy types, which to me does look similar to the automatons, and it has the same automaton symbol. See, I don't know if this was before the automatons evolved into what they are now, or something completely different. So yeah, if you know more about this, let me know. Now, would you like to see rogue Helldivers? We have seen citizens transformed, so why not Helldivers? I think it could be possible. Now, the last community post for Helldivers 2 as of the 22nd today is this one. Which overpowered armor pass have you taken? And this has got so many upvotes, 14,000, and it seems a lot of players are really taken to this. The first one is Akimbo sidearm, now dual wield secondary weapons, melee included, slows secondary reload speed by 25%, Stalker skin grants invisibility when crouched, reloading, or inputting stratagems. And the last one is Stim Addict, which I really love this one. Increases movement speed by 40%, which would be absolutely amazing against the bugs. Probably a bit too overpowered in my opinion. Now auto stim when at 10% health, and again I think that'd be really overpowered. Personally, I really like all of these, and the Stim Addict will be the one for sure that most people would go for out of all of these three if any was to come into the game. Drop a comment below. What do you think of these armor passives? I think at the moment the community is giving Arrowhead so many ideas on stratagems, armor designs, weapons, and even just content updates in general when it comes to obviously new enemies and mission objectives. So I do really hope that Arrowhead takes these into consideration because they are really great ideas. Now moving on to crossovers. According to our community manager Cephers, there are way more coming. Enraged Demon says any future crossover events planned, DRG would be a cool one. We're in the very early stages of something new. Recently, DRG hinted at a potential crossover with Helldivers 2, and we know those guys have been wanting a collab for some time now, so could this be the next crossover in the works? This may well be. Deep Rock Galactic, maybe they are looking for a crossover. Helldivers now for Rock and Stone. So this could be a major suggestion right here that these two could be having something in the pipelines. I mean, it's literally in plain sight, and they have been talking about this for such a long time now. I mean, who would not like a Deep Rock Galactic crossover? Come on, Rock and Stone. Who would not like that? Drop a comment below. Would you like to see this happen? Or if not, what would you like to see? I would personally love Terminator, as I have said a million times, or maybe Dead Space. I think Dead Space would be an awesome crossover. I could just see myself rocking Dead Space inspired armor. I think those would work super well, honestly. That's just my overall opinion. Fighting T-800s would be a literal childhood dream come true. I would love to see that happen. Now, moving on to news on the engine and could we ever see an upgrade in the future? There has been a lot of talks on this, literally for a long time. Even hints at the game developing into Helldivers 3, basically just this game being upgraded over time. If you don't know, the current engine is Stingray and it's outdated now and it's not currently supported, and for newer cards it can be quite a problem when it comes to performance. If you play online, which most of you will, then you know the performance can be a bit here, there and everywhere. Unless you play solo, then you probably won't really experience this too much. I don't know what it is with playing online and playing solo, but there seems to be a massive performance drop playing with other people. A player went and asked how hard it is to work with the engine, and the response says here, depends. Doing stuff we already have a process for, quite simple. Doing something completely new and technically complex, it's more of a challenge. We do have an engine team continuously working on improvements though. This of course is related to the new strain of enemies that were causing crashes and performance issues in the game, which obviously they had to remove in order to work around the problems they were having, which was quite significant for some people. Personally, I didn't experience any crashes or performance issues when playing against these variants. Next up on the topic of conversation is difficulty, because on the bug front, things are heating up and it's so much harder now than it's ever been. With the gloom, with the new bugs, it's just literally insane, man. Even though it's hard as hell, it seems like it's about to get even harder. Yes, you heard me right. Like, what is harder than Super Helldive, man? Literally. It sounds like you're looking for a greater challenge. The game is constantly evolving and improving, so you'll be happy to hear that we want to make the game more challenging for the players that seek that extra spice, perhaps not always in the ways you'd expect. There you have it, guys. It looks like they are expanding the game even more, so it's a lot more challenging. What could this mean? Well, we did see a video recently of a new strain of Bile Titans in the Super Destroyer, so maybe this is a hint that we will be getting harder versions of larger enemy types. Man, armored freaking Bile Titans. What is Joel even thinking? Honestly, this would be great. Maybe in the next 3 major orders we could see this in the game, since the gloom is obviously expanding even more and getting worse, and as of right now it doesn't seem like we are completing this major order. Drop a comment below. Would you like to see a armored Bile Titan? I think it would spice things up for sure. Now on to something brief. Long-term progression is something that's been spoken of for quite a long time now, because many of us have unlocked everything, and after you complete the war bonds, upgraded the super destroyer, bought a load of liberty, what do you spend your money on? I mean, I've got one more war bond literally to unlock, and then that's it. I've got nothing else to work for. I mean, progression again has been spoken of for ages, even in the very early stages of the game, as obviously live service games need either progression or regular content updates, and as of right now, we are only seeing one of these things, and that's obviously content updates. Hopefully this is the step in the right direction. They are addressing it now, and cadence is a lot higher than it's ever been. Yes, there's some stuff cooking relevance to long form progression. I'd like to avoid giving you a time frame for when though. It'll come when it's ready. So this is good clarification, and I'm happy to hear this. Drop a comment for democracy. Is progression a major issue for you? This could be hinting at so many things like a season pass, as that was leaked ages ago. Apparently a season pass was ready for the launch of the game, but I believe it was replaced for monthly war bonds. But who knows what they're going to do. There's obviously so many options and features they could put into the game, so only time will tell. Now FPS seems to be an issue for some people, and even if you're playing on a beefy graphics card like a 4070, you can still experience issues from time to time. As I said, I rock a 4070 and a pretty decent CPU. I sometimes hit super low FPS, more often when playing with 3 other people. On my own though, or playing with one other person, I tend to get a pretty good performance. So yeah, I don't know why the game is so punishing for performance when playing with other people. Jams Giorgiani, okay, we're tracking performance and we'll fix it if it dips. So yeah, at least Shams Giorgiani has addressed this issue. I mean, I've not really had many issues when playing on the new city biomes personally. From time to time, I've had some performance dips when playing with other people, but considering I play solo most of the time, I don't really experience these FPS drops. However, if performance is a major issue for you, let me know in the comments. As of right now, the major order isn't looking very good. We've only liberated 10.8% of the planet, and I'm really confused considering we have 56,000 players on the planet at the moment. I know Arrowhead said some time ago we do control the narrative ourselves, where the story goes, if a major order fails or if we're successful, but for some reason it just seems to be really stagnant. Who knows, this major order could have been rigged just so obviously the story can progress onto the next thing. I don't know. If you know, let me know in the comments. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to spread your democratic comments below. Now go and conquer the galaxy for managed democracy, and I will see you in the next video.